Sandy Powell. Welcome to the round table. I'm here with one of my hearts. You know, this girl means the world to me. She is a daughter, the one who has made the completion of our family, my very own baby, Bontavia Anderson. Glad you could come to the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
You excited?
I am.
Well, today our show is about the relationship of mother and daughter-in-laws. It is something that is a reality. Every mother and daughter-in-law, they don't get along. And we have figured it out. And so we thought we'd share with you what we have been through and some of the techniques that we use to make this relationship harmonious. Is that good?
It's good.
Okay, so we're going to go raw.
Okay.
To the beginning.
I'm ready.
Now, let's just tell them now that our relationship is solid.
It is solid. It is probably one of the best relationships I have. And I appreciate our relationship. And I love our relationship. And I'm very grateful for it. And like you were saying earlier, I hear so many people that, or I say women, that do not get along with their mother-in-law. And when I tell them I love mine, they're like, look, what? Is that possible?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like, is it possible for you to love your mother-in-law? And so it is rare, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I haven't came across a lot of relationships like us.
Yes. Well, I think that when we go back to the beginning, we were common in the relationship. Like,
right.
We kind of like fit in that other category of, and I think what I wanted to do is I wanted to go to the beginning and talk about our oil and water relationship that didn't quite gel in the beginning. And just from the top of it, just to let people know a little bit of history, you and JR were high school sweethearts.
Right. That's my boo.
That's a whole nother show. Anyway, and so you guys were teenagers, and I was a single mom, and so I felt like I needed to help guide you guys in your relationship as far as, making sure things were right and everything. And so JR went off to the military.
Right.
And you were about to start college. And so you came to live with me.
Right. Well, I think for me, the relationship started off good.
Right.
It was until I moved in with you.
Right.
Then it became
Because
a problem.
in the beginning, you had not given your life to Christ. This is before you moved in.
Right.
And you were just dating JR in high school, and I offered Christ to you, and you accepted Christ right there in our den.
Right.
And so that was the spark of our relationship. And so as it was going along, it was still very vague, as far as our relationship. But once you moved in, then we had constant contact.
Right.
And I think this is how most people really find out about each other, real personalities, real feelings, because you can't avoid them. You're living together. And so
that's true.
We were scrubbing.
I feel bad for all the people that never live with them in-laws and just still can't stand them.
What do they do?
I don't know. That's horrible. But.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things I think was your youthfulness, age, young, still very carefree, and wasn't really looking for guidance, so to speak. You just had your own ideas about what you was going to do and how you was going to do it. Right. Everybody know you. You're alpha female.
Right.
Yeah, a leader.
Yes.
And you don't like to follow very well in the beginning.
This is true. I've learned how to follow. And I'll also say I think one of the biggest things too was different backgrounds. And I would say y'all just because at the time it was you and Nikki or Farisha, who is her daughter. Y'all were accustomed to being the way that you are.
Right.
And then I was accustomed to being the way that I was.
Right.
And so somebody had to give, and I wasn't really willing to give,
right.
although I was staying in your house.
Yeah. like, just for the record, just want you to know, when you live in somebody else's house, you're not in charge. You have to learn how to lower your head. And especially when you are the younger. But anyway, that's another show.
We still working on that.
Yeah.
We still working on that.
We good. But one of the biggest things that I think is that you were, like I said, you were young. You were fresh in fresh in college. You had aspirations to do different things in college at the college level. Partying was a part of it.
Yes.
The living, that kind of wild and crazy college life.
Yes.
And here you are moving into a Christian woman home.
Right.
With a curfew.
And some standards.
Yeah.
And
just not gonna do everything
right.
up under my roof, right?
That's right.
And so that was like one of our biggest things in the beginning, was the difference of lifestyle, I would call the sharing of how to, as a lady, to carry yourself in the public, as well as how you're seen to other people. Like, there is no, like JR come home on leave, no, both of y'all not staying here at the house.
Right.
Somebody had to go.
Right.
JR had to go or you had to go, but they both can't stay.
Right.
So it was things like that. And of course, college life. You want to talk about that?
What about
the wild, crazy life of college life?
I just, honestly, I can't blame it on college. I probably just would have had a wild, crazy life.
Well, I'm trying to give you a little back. I'm trying to give you a little platform here.
Because I was just at the point, especially like when you turn 18, you feel like, okay, I'm an adult. I want to do this. I want to do that. So I was all into certain things I wouldn't dabble into because I was a little nervous about.
Right.
But other things that I was okay with,
right.
then I was going to do that.
Yeah.
Because I waited my whole life,
to be grown.
To be grown and to experience these things. So,
and curfew was cramping your style.
Curfew was major.
Major time.
You got me in trouble with a couple friends because of that curfew.
What was the curfew time, you remember?
Was it 2?
2 o'clock. Because I figured after 2 o'clock in Columbus, you're not in New York City.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing open.
I broke that a couple times too.
Yeah.
Sneaking in.
And then I had got to the point where I would lock the bottom lock, where you have to let me know when you home. Yeah. And if you broke curfew.
Got caught a couple times. I tried to walk in like I ain't see you. Just go into my room. I'm invisible.
So you and I would have to have talks.
Right.
And I think it was just, I think what it was just me trying to give you some things, and then you wanting to flap your wings and be the free bird that you was, trying to be.
And plus, I would say you and wanting to give me some things, I felt like you thought you knew it all.
Right.
So that was a problem.
And I'm not your mama.
I don't think I ever felt that way.
You didn't feel like I'm not your mama? You don't tell me what to
do? No.
I kind of got that from you, like.
But see, I just kind of got that. That's just that alpha female presence, because I can give that to somebody that doesn't even play a motherly role. I just didn't want you to be really direct to me. It didn't really matter who you were, honestly.
Do you remember when I used to call you into the room and we had to talk?
Yeah, but see, I thought, when was this? It was a couple times. There's a whole bunch of times we had to do that. But at one point, I started paying rent. Now, when I started paying rent, I really got mad at you then.
Yeah.
So when I started paying rent, and then
tell them what your rent was.
Was it like $80?
$80 a month.
I wish I had
not
$80 for my mortgage.
And they ate. Tell them how you ate more than the $80. And this is the funny part. The funny part was, the rent only came in to teach you to be responsible.
Right.
To that you have to pay your way. I mean, I made sure that you were not hurting or anything like that. That this was something that you have to get in your mind that one day you're going to pay somebody rent.
Right.
And if I don't do nothing but take it in the backyard and burn it, I wanted you to understand that this is something that you're going to have to responsibly do. You're going to have to pay your way in a household. Right. And so when you started to pay rent, you felt like you really should have your own way and not really have to answer to.
Possibly, but I was just mad about paying rent in general. Felt like you trying to stick me for my paper.
Trying to take my money.
Right. That's how I felt.
$80.
At that time, like you said, youthfulness, being immature, you really don't understand. Now, Can I move in for 80?
Yeah. No.
I come back for 80.
No.
See, 80
you
is,
big time at CBT. You got to come a lot deeper than 80.
So it's not that I can't come back. It's just more than 80.
Yeah, it's more than $80.
But back to the conversation about when you would call me in to talk. See, I always felt like if I just paid my rent, then I'd be good. So I would just go like slide the money on your bed or something and try to avoid the talk because I didn't really want to have the talk.
Right.
And then you remember we used to have family meetings?
Yes.
Oh, good. Geez.
The family meetings were so that we could all be on one accord about what responsibilities are and what we are expected to do in the family. And y'all hated them.
I think that's really where I developed my relationship with Jesus because I used to go in deep prayer. Oh, God dang it, we got a family meeting. What I did now?
I think you and Edwina used to talk about it before we came out to the meetings. Did y'all kind of like?
I don't think we had.
Y'all hated it. Y'all give each other the look because I would catch you.
No, I don't think we had a lot of family. I wasn't there long with Edwina. I had a lot of family meetings when Doretha was there.
Yeah.
But see, I wasn't there that long with Edwina because that was right when I was leaving when JR was coming back. So I don't remember a lot of family meetings with her.
Yeah, I remember the time when the paper towel holder got broke. A $5 paper towel holder. I just asked these grown women who broke the paper towel holder, and I got to go through the whole rigmarole as to, I'm like, forget it. Just tomorrow, I better have a paper towel holder in there on the counter. And it was things like that that I felt like I was helping, and I got it. I knew why you all were kicking against it, and I knew why you were kicking against it. But also, too, back to the relationship as far as daughter-in-law and mother, I knew you was my son's wife.
Yeah.
And it was important for me that our relationship was solid.
Right.
And so to put my hands on you like a daughter, like a mother would to her daughter, is what was important to me.
Right.
Like I wanted you to be as refined as you could be, as information-wise. I wanted you to be on top of the game. I wanted you to be knowledgeable. I wanted you. I was preparing you for as a wife. For JR, and as well as that, learning you as a person.
Right.
And I think that some of that, because in that comes accountability and discipline and stuff like that, it was a little push and a pull for us in the beginning, would you say?
It was, but the biggest thing is that it helped us have this relationship now. And even in the process, you doing all of that, and I did not like it, but it allowed me, for some reason, to trust you and open up. So I would talk to you about things that I wouldn't discuss with other people. There were some things that I talked to you about and discussed with you, or were more open with you about than I wasn't even with my own mom.
Right.
So it helped develop and build that relationship where I felt like I could go to you, because somewhere in the process I learned, regardless if I got in trouble or we disagreed or if it was going to be confrontation, at the end it was still going to be the same.
We're going to be family.
Right. And for a long time in the beginning, I kept thinking you was going to kick me out.
And I think I had that talk with you.
You did?
That no matter what go down between you and I, this is your home.
Right.
And you never have to worry about it, being kicked out, that we would have that much rift, that you would have to leave. And I wanted I wanted that wall to be torn down so that we could have the transparency, we could have the connection, we could have the trust relationship, and not have to worry about, I got to tiptoe, I can't say this is my true feeling, but I can't really say it because if I say this, I might be in jeopardy of being, out on the street or back, back out. But that was important to me that you knew that. Not only that, but in the beginning, I wanted you to understand that to me, family is important, and no matter what you go through, you stick together.
Right.
You work it out. You can fall down, fight, and have knockdown, drag out. But at the end of the day, we're family.
Right. And when I came into the relationship, I had an issue with trust, just in general. So me trusting this random lady, because I mean, if you want to look at it, that's really where you were. You were a
random.
random lady, right? That was hard and that was difficult. And so that pulling that you kept there, it helped build that trust. Now, you know, you probably want to just close the door on me because you probably like, you talking and telling me way too much.
I just roll over and go to sleep.
And it's just, it's loose. It's an open book now because I feel like I don't have anything to hide. Even if I'm wrong, I know I can come to you and receive and get what I need from you to be able to admit that I'm wrong, correct it, and then pick up and do the right thing.
Right. And then JR, and we talked about this a little bit before the show because he think he's the
reason. He's so funny.
He's our in-between, so to speak. But in the beginning, he was sort of, kind of. You have this new heartthrob. You love him. He loves you. But JR and our relationship was like, it's like this.
Right.
We're mother and son that are tight.
Right.
Like what we share, he and I was already sharing.
Right.
We talk about anything, talk about everything, no bars hold, so to speak. And I can see then that with the trust issue, that was also a scratchy point for you.
Right.
This woman is in the place that I really want to be.
Right. I would say I didn't really start, you didn't become a problem like in our relationship until he came home from the military. Mm-hmm. When he was gone, it was just us having our own issues. You know, we wouldn't even stunned him. We had our own issues on our own. But when he came home, that's when, okay, there's some issues. And I think the biggest thing probably for me wasn't because you were in this position, but he made a constant effort to let me know and remind me and highlight certain things. And so that's how it kind of becomes an issue. And I think that happens in wives, you know, to those that are out there listening, when they have mother-in-laws, sometimes because your husband or their husband, their son, their mother is the only person that they know.
Right.
That's the only female that they really know. So when they start and get into this new relationship, everything is a comparison.
Right.
And see, then that poses an issue for the wife.
That causes an automatic competition.
Right.
For the daughter and the mom.
Right.
And this is probably why I was pulling down on those things in the beginning, because there is no competition. But JR, you love him, and you're going to always love him.
Right.
Because he's yours, and I refuse to accept.
I will always love him.
That's it. And so, but JR, you know, he has a way.
Right.
Of being a poker.
Right.
He can poke at you. And so I'm sure he used me as a poker sometimes.
Right.
To get under your skin.
Right.
Mama don't cook like that. Mama this, mama that,
Right.
whatever. And so he just pushed your buttons, which caused you to really kind of have a, not necessarily consciously, but even sometimes unconsciously, a wall.
Right. And they created a defense against you, and honestly, you didn't do anything.
Right.
And I think that happens in these types of relationships. Mm-hmm. You were never, thankfully, you were never the mother-in-law that felt like this girl is taking my place.
Right.
Because I've heard of stories like that.
Yeah, they're horrible.
And that may be even worse.
I think it is. I can't imagine. I can't imagine competing with you in a different arena. Like you're to him a woman in a different way than I am to him. And so I can't imagine how a mother puts herself in a place competing with the daughter-in-law.
Right.
I don't know how she expects to compete there.
Right.
It's a whole different category.
It is.
But you're right, and it also causes the friction, which is, thank God, wasn't our issue, but because there was other small areas of competition or things, and as a wife, you're trying to live up to this so-called Wonder Woman that he's really making up, because you know his mom ain't cook for him every day.
Y'all ate spam a lot too.
We ate spam.
He liked it.
And yeah, we still like that fried spam. Actually, it's treat meat, but
that's
I don't know what it is about the spam. I really don't like. I like the treat meat, but there you go.
That's funny.
But at the end of the day, he's puffing me up as if I'm something that you got to live up to, when in actuality we're just two different women with two different ways of doing things. And but to you, the new wife or the wife, it's feeling, because mom does have history that you don't have, that you got to now live up to something. And we know that that causes a lot of rifts in mother and daughter in-law relationships.
It does. And I think all of it is a part of just immaturity. Again, going back to we were young when we got married and we were immature, and so we had to grow and develop. And so, you know, now, just fast forward to the beginning, you know, sometimes he be looking like, do I need to check DNA? Are you her child or me? Because I'll be like, I'm calling your mama. Just act up if you want to. I'm telling your mama.
That's right. And even in some of your early days when things was a little rocky, you know, I told him one time he was in Hawaii, I said, don't act the monkey, because you know I will catch a flight. You know, I will get on a plane and be right there.
Right.
Because don't do my baby.
Right.
You know, and so, after a while you develop a relationship with you should develop a relationship with your daughter. And this is what I do. I'm never going to be in competition with you.
Right.
And I think mothers who do that are really causing more friction in the family that passes down to the grandkids, because it causes a rift in the family where the family can't truly be united, because they're battling these little ghosts that don't really exist.
That's true. I think two things that I had to learn. One, I had to learn you for yourself. So whether he was saying, you know, my mama did this, my mama that, my mama do this, my mama do that, I had to know you. And once I got to know you, then I knew, okay, she's not that type of person. She's not this or she's not that. So that's just him, you know. And then I had to become just comfortable with my role. I had to accept your role and be okay with your role, and then accept my role and be okay with that. So, you know, his favorite, you know he loved your macaroni and cheese. His favorite thing was macaroni and cheese. So, you know, you want me to learn how to cook mama's macaroni and cheese. Well, now I'm so comfortable in my role, I be like, boy, call mama and tell her to cook it, and we all coming over. And we gonna eat the macaroni and cheese. We all eat the macaroni and cheese. Because I like it too.
Instead of being intimidated by it, where he feel like he gonna call you out, you just say, okay, good, call her, tell her to make some macaroni and make enough for the rest of us
That's
too.
right.
Yeah, so, and that's me, I did the same thing. I didn't feel like I was losing a son. And I think with mothers sometimes, maybe that's the thing. We feel like, well, if we spend a lot of time together before he got married, now that he's married, he's going to be spending a lot more time with his wife, and why you don't come see me, and you know me, bring the kids. Yeah, the two of y'all can take a hike anyway. Bring the kids, let me see him, let me kiss on him a little bit, come get them. But I think if we understand that we are not losing, that this is just a part of the evolving of life, that our children, we should prepare our kids for the time that we're not with them, and allow them that time to be free, to develop other relationships. And then maybe it's a little bit of insecurity on the mom's part that won't allow that.
Yeah, and I think it's insecurities on both sides.
Yeah.
Because even when you have a new wife coming in, there's some insecurities, like you said, trying to live up to these expectations. And when you have someone, I mean, y'all like Wonder Woman to the sons. When you have Wonder Woman, it's like, okay, how can I become Wonder Woman too? You know, I just...
Because I'm going to tell you this. This is the little funny thing. Because sometimes sons think their mama do things so well, and it ain't that great. Because I have known some mothers who the son would say, my mama make this so good, and then when I taste it, it wasn't that good. But it's all he's known.
That's true.
And so he think it's all that. And then when I went in there, you know, did a little something, I'm like, what I'm doing is topping that. So sometimes that's what sons try to, you know, cause that little thing. It might not be that mama do it. Maybe my macaroni and cheese ain't the greatest. Maybe you need to go in there and experiment with your macaroni and cheese.
The devil is a liar. We just pray you live a long life so you can make that macaroni and cheese.
If that's the only reason, I'm going to be living a long time.
No,
anyway, I love
it's
y'all.
on the list. It made the list.
Keeping the relationship open with communication, I think, was our biggest survival.
And then also being open to differences.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were different in some capacities. In a lot of ways, we are very similar.
We are.
But I had to really be open to the differences.
Right.
And learn how to adjust or to accept them, or if I've liked it, keep it, if not, trash it, but understand that that's part of you, or whatever the case may be. But that's a big thing too. We just don't want to change. And I think when you get married, you're not just coming one with that spouse, but you're also coming with that family.
Right.
And like you're gonna make some changes and some adjustments with that spouse, you're gonna do the same for the family.
Exactly. Because you and Nicole,
Good Jesus.
in the beginning,
That's a
that's a show by itself.
That about a 3-part show.
To get you two to mesh
Right.
took a lot.
A whole heap.
Right.
But we're inseparable now.
Yeah. But it was the same concept that you and I took that you two finally had to get to.
Right.
Which is accepting each other for who you are, knowing that you are two very significant women in this man's life, which is JR, and neither one of y'all takes the other's position or role or take anything away from it.
Right.
She's just sister, she's just wife, and at the end of the day, we both bring to JR a different thing, and so we don't have to be at competition with each other for it. And I think that's what the three of us, me, you, and Nicole, have really mastered.
Right.
And
just thinking about it, that was a lot trying to do in that one house.
It
Good
was.
Jesus,
It
all
was.
that estrogen.
Oh, well, you know me, I just didn't really tolerate y'all estrogen.
You didn't.
My estrogen was the only estrogen allowed.
That's right.
The rest of y'all just put it in.
Ours was allowed, unbeknownst to you, in our room.
In your room.
We did a lot
and
of trash
quietly.
we like Norbit.
Better not let me hear you in there. Know these walls are thin. But at the end of the day, I think that talking, because we did a lot. We did a lot of talking. Even now, if our family has something that is pressing us, we come together as a family. We communicate. We talk about it because it's...
World Changes Tabernacle, led by Prophet Prathan Powell, is a word-based church committed to seeing you win. We're called to create a loving and caring community for all people and work together for justice and peace in our world. Recognizing that our spiritual journeys are all different, we strive to be respectful and inclusive concerning each individual's relationship with God. We believe that Christianity is a lifestyle, and we're committed to teaching, learning, and living the Word of God. It's more than a song, more than a shout, more than a dance. Whether you're a committed follower of Christ or just curious about God, you are invited to visit with us. Give us a call or check out our website for more information or to see our sermon times.